Hey guys, Messiah here. So today I want to talk about someone who is probably the most misunderstood player in the history of League of Legends, and I'm talking about Soaz. So today, Origin announced that Forgiven was leaving, and he established that he doesn't feel motivated, all that wonderful stuff, and so like I was just like browsing comments and stuff like that, and I found this comment saying that Soaz is somehow completely unmotivated, and just doesn't care about the game at all. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're gonna tell me the guy that went like, let's go on Lol Esports up. The guy that went like 8-2 on Fizz, or like some ridiculous number, and had the entire team on his back, was not motivated at all, and it isn't like trying at all. Like, it just seems like absurd to me that like, here it is. Where are the stats? Here we go. It's absurd to me that people have this notion and this idea that Soaz is like not motivated and doesn't care about the game at all at this point, right? So yeah, so he's 7-1. He went 7-1 on Fizz, and then the first game was like something ridiculous. Yeah, see, 1-1. Like, he's not doing terribly in these games, and yet people are like claiming that he's not motivated, that he isn't good anymore and stuff like that. When he has literally made every single finals since he has gotten back into the LCS with Origin. He has ridiculous games like this where like people are on his back, and it like the last season too was not his metagame. He does not play tanks. He does not enjoy playing tanks. He's a very carry oriented. He's a very playmaking player, and for some reason people have this notion and this idea that Soaz is completely unmotivated, completely and totally. Like, just he doesn't care about the game anymore. Meanwhile, he still puts up result after result. Okay, he didn't win finals in the past two splits, but making semis is like still a really big deal. And another thing that like that people like to misconstrue or don't really understand about like Soaz's mentality and stuff like that is that Origin's bot lane left before Forgiven, right? Mythian's Ven went over the G2. And one of the big reasons that was cited was the fact that other players is the key word there, right? Other players were not motivated enough as much as the bot lane. And what people jumped to immediately was the fact that Soaz is obviously the culprit here, right? Soaz, I don't think coaches are relevant. Solo queue was irrelevant. I don't know where that quote came up from, by the way. I've seen like 5,000 different places, and I can't find a source for it. So if anyone can find a source for me on in the comments, please go ahead and link me, because I think a lot of his statements, he's like Soaz is a player that is not afraid to say what's on his mind, because he's been in the scene so long, and he has a notion and an idea of how he feels about what should be happening in the game. And that's completely fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. What's happening here is a lot of people are misconstruing what he's saying. Like, let's go to the tweet about him. Where is it? The tweet, here it is. The tweet about him not liking coaches, right? So here, he says right here, I respect the fact that they try, and it's going to be better in the future, but as of right now, coaches are useless. This was back in December 2015. And the fact of the matter is, this was true at the time. There was a mentality of coaches. There were a bunch of coaches that were just getting into the scene at the point, and they were simply like ex-pro players that couldn't play at all, and just like people just trying to grab at jobs. And like, for someone who'd been in the scene that long, he saw right through this, and he was not afraid to make his opinion known that he felt like most of the coaches in the scene were worthless. You can even go to like a high quality coach like LS, and he will tell you that there were so many people in the scene at the time, and people are interpreting this as Soaz is uncoachable. Soaz refuses to listen to anyone else except himself. No, he just has a different point of view and a different mindset about the game that doesn't necessarily align with a lot of people's views, and he's not willing to take shit from other people. That are probably wrong. He's willing to stand for his opinion and willing to talk about it too. And you can even see here, like Amazing proceeds to expand on his point. Coaching in the West is incomparable to the East. And let's leave it at that and stuff like that. And even Forgiven agrees here. Forgiven agrees here that coaches are completely irrelevant. No one talking about how Forgiven says coaches are completely irrelevant, right? He completely agrees with what Soaz says here, and no one's quoting Forgiven on this stuff. So I do understand. I understand the fact that Soaz is willing to put his opinion out there, and it might not be refined enough for people to understand. And in any time that Origin is like not doing well or like anything, they're willing to jump down his throat because it's a pro player making a polarizing statement that is easily brought back into light whenever he screws up, whenever he does something poorly. But even still, there is this unbelievable. I guess it's not unbelievable, but there's a large amount of hate for Soaz in any Origin thread, in anything talking about him. When in reality, the guy is just as motivated as everyone else, and is still trying just as hard as everyone else. It just doesn't seem like it because he's always complaining all the time. He has a right to complain. Sure, he's a bit salty. Maybe PR could improve in that department, and maybe teach him to like not be so crass, be so impossible to view as a player. Because a lot of fans are like, oh, I like Origin, but I don't really like Soaz and stuff like that. So like that exists. Like that's a complete possibility. But the fact here is, a lot of the attention that Soaz gets, it's mostly negative, right? A lot of the negative attention that Soaz gets is simply unfounded and based off like really strange tidbits of information that are being completely misinterpreted. We don't know who was unmotivated at the Origin house. It may have been Soaz, but it may have been someone else. And just like creating this narrative that this guy is so incredibly like stubborn and weak and stuff like that is more than likely like the opposite. Otherwise, he would have been out of this scene long ago. He would not be making finals if he was this impossible to work with, if he was not putting in the hours just like everyone else. Okay, you look at his like ranked account, right? And it shows like maybe a game from like yesterday, it came 2 days ago, a couple games from 3 days ago. Scrims take a lot out of people, like, even for a coach. Like when I was coaching for teams or doing freelance work for teams, I would find myself with absolutely no energy to play solo queue afterwards because there's just so much to go through, even just watching it. So I can't even imagine as a player playing things. So people come up with these notions that, oh, you're not playing solo queue, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not working. You're not working nearly as hard as you need to. And meanwhile, he's still making every finals. So something has to give here. Something's clearly missing. Is he smurfing? Are there accounts that people don't know about that he's smurfing on? Are there other outside factors? Like, does he have to take care of, like, press stuff? Is he going over replays with his coaches far more than everyone else? Nobody knows these things. So the conclusions everyone are jumping to right now are completely and totally ridiculous. So I'm just saying, Soaz has proven himself time and time again. Maybe we should cut him a break for a bit, and maybe, but there's also the other side that maybe he shouldn't be talking so much about all these things and just letting things happen. That way, he doesn't make himself such an easy target. But if he's happy being an easy target, then all the power to him, right? And so this is what I'm saying here. Soaz is still very relevant. I'm sure he's still a motivated player, and all the shit he gets is completely unfounded. All right.